What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to take a look at the job approval for President Trump. So we're going to take a look at different categories. We're going to use Real Clear Politics, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. And so first we're looking at the president's overall job approval. So overall job approval has him at minus 4.9. Okay, zoom in a little bit closer there for you guys. Disapproval is at 50.5. Approval is at 45.6, and that's the average. Okay, so they're averaging all the different polls. We'll take a look at some of the top pollsters, or the latest pollsters. TIPP, their latest poll was conducted between 827 and 829. You had 1,362 adults. Approval, 43. Disapproval, 47. The spread there is -4. We have Rasmussen, conducted between 825 and 831, 1,500 likely voters, approval 48, disapproval 51. The spread there is -3. Then we have Emerson, that was conducted between 825 and 826, 1,000 registered voters, approval 45, disapproval 47. The spread there was -2. So those are the latest polls. And you see, you see the pattern here. You have a lot of red here when it comes to disapproval. And then you have a couple of approval. Okay, so that latest approval was coming from RMG Research, and that was conducted between 821 and 828, 3,000 registered voters, 50 approval, 49 disapproval. That's what got you there. So you see, for the most part, when it comes to overall job approval, the vast majority of the people who were polled here are saying that he is not doing a good job. Okay, looking at the president's approval when it comes to the economy, and this is very important, the economy and inflation. This is the reason why Trump is in office now. In my opinion, it's because of the economy. The economy was shaky during the end of Biden's administration, and then back in 2022, we remember inflation shot way up there. And I think that's the reason. That was a good message that Trump was able to deliver to the people, saying, I'm going to bring down inflation. I'm going to bring down inflation, even though when it comes to presidents, it's very hard for a president to control the economy that way, control inflation. But nonetheless, people were out there listening to him and believing what he was saying when it came to inflation. And so looking at the polling averages here, we have disapproval at 54%. We have approval at 42.4%. And looking at some of the latest pollsters, we have the Economist YouGov poll conducted between 822, 825, 1,377 registered voters, approval at 42, disapproval at 54. The spread there is -12. And then we have Quinnipiac, that was conducted between 821 and 825, 1,220 registered voters. Approval there was 39, disapproval at 57. The spread there was -18. Then we'll do one more here. The Morning Consult poll conducted between 822 and 824, 2,200 registered voters. Approval there 45, disapproval 49. The spread there was -4. And so once again, when it comes to the economy, it's very hard for a president to really improve the economy drastically. However, we have seen the president through executive order try to make some changes. We see tariffs and things like that. Tariffs can impact our economy. They can impact it in a positive way or a negative way. Right now, I would say they're impacting it in a negative way because you have a lot of companies that are uncertain about the future. So they don't want to make the decision of hiring more people and investing more in the business right now. And then also when it comes to tariffs, it slows down our economy because you're going to have less imports coming in and you're going to have less people purchasing products because the prices of those products are going up. And so this could have a major impact on our economy. So we'll have to see how it plays out. But right now, the vast majority of the American people are not happy with the performance of the president when it comes to our economy. Okay, let's briefly look at foreign policy. So foreign policy, we have the polling average showing disapproval at 52.3, approval at 43, and the spread there is -9.3. And then looking at Reuters, this was conducted between 822 and 824. You have 1,022 adults. The approval there is 37, disapproval at 51. The spread there is minus 14. Quinnipiac, conducted between 821 and 825, 1,220 registered voters. Approval there is 40, disapproval of 56. The spread there is minus 16. And then we'll do one more. Harvard-Harris, this was conducted between 820 and 821, 2,025 registered voters. We have approval at 44, disapproval at 56, and the spread there is minus 12. Okay, now let's look at immigration. So President Trump's job approval when it comes to immigration. Now, he used to be in the positive here, but now he is in the negative. And last couple of months, he's been in the negative. So looking at disapproval, we have 49.3, and this is the average of all the polls. And then approval, 47.7. The spread there is minus 1.6. And looking at some of the latest pollsters, we have the Economist YouGov poll conducted between 822 and 825, 1,377 registered voters, approval at 47, disapproval at 50. The spread there is minus 3. Then we have the Morning Consult poll conducted between 820 and 824. And we have 2,200 registered voters. Approval is at 52, disapproval at 42. And the spread there is plus 10. So you see how this is really an outlier. When you're looking at all the other polls, most of them are showing the disapproval, but this one is showing plus 10 approval. So it'd be interesting to see how they gather that information. So you have Reuters. Reuters was conducted between 822 and 824, 1,022 adults. You have approval at 43, disapproval at 51. The spread there is minus 8. And then we'll do one more. We have Harvard-Harris conducted between 820 and 821, 2,025 registered voters, approval at 50, disapproval at 50, and so that is a tie. Okay, looking at inflation. So we have disapproval at 59.1. We have approval at 39.3. The spread there is minus 19.8. Looking at some of the latest pollsters, you have the Economist YouGov poll conducted between 822 and 825, 1,377 registered voters. Approval there is 36, disapproval 60. The spread there is minus 24. Looking at the Harvard-Harris poll conducted between 820 and 821, 2,025 registered voters, 41 for approval, 59 for disapproval, minus 18. Looking at CNBC, conducted between 729 and 83, 1,000 adults, 37 approval, 60 disapproval, minus 23. Now look at inflation. I mean, just look at all of these polls. You only have one poll that's in the single digits. All of the other polls are showing disapproval in the double digits. So when it comes to inflation, people are very, very upset at the fact that inflation is still high and the cost of items are still high, going to the grocery store, all of that. And you hear it. I mean, I watch a lot of video about people complaining about the price of food, and it hasn't gone anywhere. It hasn't gone down. It's still continuing to increase. And this is not just people saying this. When you look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they're giving you the information every month by month, and we're seeing an increase month by month, and we're seeing an increase when it comes to year. Okay, so now this is a new category that they put in here, crime. So let's look at crime. And so when it comes to the averaging of the polls, we have +1. So Trump is actually in the positive when it comes to this. 47 disapproval, 48 approval. Let's look at some of the individual pollsters. We have Quinnipiac here, conducted between 821 and 825. 1,220 registered voters. We have 42 for approval, 54 for disapproval. The spread there is minus 12. And looking at APNORC, we have that conducted between 821 and 825, 1,182 adults. We have approval at 53, disapproval at 45. The spread there is +8. And then looking at Reuters, we have that conducted between 822 and 824. We have 1,022 adults. The approval there is 43. The disapproval is 46. The spread there is -3. We'll do one more. Harvard-Harris conducted between 820 and 821. 2,025 registered voters. Approval there is 51. Disapproval 49. The spread there is +2. So when we're talking about crime, Trump is actually doing pretty good when it comes to approval, disapproval. That last poll that was conducted by Quinnipiac has put him in the just a +1. But if we didn't see that last poll, he would actually look a lot better. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out when it comes to D.C. You have the National Guard there. It costs a lot of money in order to have the National Guard there. And then you have federal agents that are also out there walking around Washington, D.C. And so you're taking these federal agents from their job, the job that they're currently doing. So I'm sure they're doing investigations right now. They have to put aside some of those investigations so they can go out and walk in Washington, D.C. So how long is that going to last, and what's going to be the impact of that? And then financially, how much is that going to cost? Because when we start seeing those numbers, then the American people can look at it and say, okay, is it worth it for us to be doing all this? Or should we just allocate money to D.C. to help out with the problem as far as hiring more law enforcement if you want to have a larger law enforcement presence? So we're going to have to see. This is new. And Real Clear Politics, they didn't have crime before, so now they're putting crime as one of the categories. And so you're going to have more polling that's going to reflect crime, and we'll see if these numbers stay positive for President Trump or if he actually drops into the negative. Okay, we're going to look at two more here. So we have Russia, Ukraine. So how is his approval when it comes to that? We have the disapproval right now is at 52.3. Approval is at 37.8. The spread there is -14.5. So that is the average of all the polls. Looking at some of the latest polling here, Quinnipiac conducted between 8:21 and 8:25, 1,220 registered voters. Approval there is 40. Disapproval is 52. The spread there is -12. Then looking at Emerson, that was conducted between 7:21 and 7:22, 1,400 registered voters. We have 37 approval, 47 disapproval. The spread there is -10. And then we have the Wall Street Journal poll, and that was conducted between 7:16 and 7:20, 1,500 registered voters, 41 for approval, 51 for disapproval. We have -10. And then we'll do the last one since it's here. Gallup, conducted between 7:07 and 7:21, 750 adults, 33 for the approval, 59 for the disapproval. The spread there is -2.6. And so this was also one of the president's promises, is that he was going to have peace when it comes to Russia and Ukraine. He was going to end the war. He was going to do it on day one, he said, but obviously he's not going to be able to do it on day one, but he was going to do it fast. We're still in the same boat when it comes to the whole situation between Russia and Ukraine. And we really haven't moved forward. There's really hasn't been any progress towards any type of a peace treaty. Okay, looking at the last one here, Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And we have disapproval here at 52.6. And then we have approval at 39.2. The spread there is -13.4. And looking at some of the latest pollsters, we have the Economist YouGov conducted between 8:15, 8:18, 1,408 registered voters. Approval there, 39. Disapproval, 50. The spread there is -11. We'll do two more. Emerson conducted between 7:21 and 7:22. You have 1,400 registered voters. Approval there, 38. Disapproval, 46. The spread there is -8. And then one more, CBS, conducted between 7:16 and 7:18, 2,343 adults. Approval there, 43. Disapproval, 57. The spread there is -14. And so you can see when it comes to job approval for the president, it's not very good. There's only one category, crime, where he is in the approval area. Everything else is disapproval. And so the people that participated in these different polls, on average, they're saying that the president is not doing a good job. And so we'll have to see if that changes in the future. I just wanted to give you guys this update. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.